Hey loves, my name is Ofune. I want to welcome you back to the Swatches YouTube channel. Today we have a foundation review, a brand new foundation from Urban Decay. We're going to thank Urban Decay one time for partnering with your girl on today's video. They have just launched the Stay Naked foundation. Now this foundation comes in a total of 50 shades. I have a little pamphlet right here, and let me make sure I get you the correct stats. So it comes in a total of 50 shades. It lasts up to 24 hours. It has a buildable medium coverage and a real skin matte finish. It is also very breathable and flexible and vegan. Urban Decay also came out with these concealers, so we will be trying those out today as well. So if you're interested in this launch and some new kind of, I'm feeling like it's going to be like your skin but better foundation and concealers, stay tuned and keep on watching. We're going to get into a little product demo review and you'll hear my final thoughts at the end. So let's get started. One thing that's really cool about this foundation is that it has its undertone, or what they call a master tone. So it says it comes, each shade has two letters. So it has a master tone and an undertone. So you can like it has the normal like cool, neutral, warm, and then it takes things one step further with the undertone. So for undertone, you can choose from pink, blue, green, neutral, yellow, orange, and red. So I'm gonna go under the assumption that I have a yellow. Hopefully you guys can kind of tell on camera, I have more of a yellow golden undertone, and my master tone I think is going to be warm. So I have three shades here that I think will be my match. I have 80WO, you guys can't see that, 80WO here, 80NN here, and then 81WY. So one that actually does have the warm yellow, the other two are kind of adjacent to what I think my undertone is. I feel like sometimes what you think your undertone is, the brand defines it a little differently. So we're just gonna do a little swatching on the side of my face to see which one is the best match. And a little bit how I match my foundations. So I like to have a kind of brighter under eye. Well, not really like super bright, but I like to brighten up under the eyes. So I found that going at least, a half a shade or a shade darker really helps you not to look like too light or too ashy when you do concealer under the eyes. So when I match my foundations, I'm going to keep that in mind. So usually like it'll match like the perimeter right here, but it'll be dark right here. So keep that in mind as I'm swatching these foundations. And also I just wanted to also point out the numbers. So like I said, I'm in the 80s. So they have the foundations categorized by like numbers. So like 10 is ultra fair, 20s are fair, 30s are light, all the way to 90s. So I'm in the 80s, which is pretty good. So I'm not in the 90s. I'm not the darkest shade. So whenever I'm like very kind of far from the darkest shade, that's always a clue, or gives me hope that this is going to be a good shade range. So yeah, and I'll insert swatches of the deeper shades somewhere at this point. I'm going to do them later, but as you're watching, you're going to see them right now. So yeah, so let's get started on these face swatches though. So I'm going to try 81WY, which I'm thinking is going to be my match. So I'm just gonna put that right here. This is like, it kind of has a very light, I won't say watery, but it's like a very light consistency as I'm filling it with my fingers. This looks like a pretty good match. I feel like I'm done, but just to show y'all, like, and so you can kind of see like it does look darker when you look at it, like compared to like this area, but when I blend it out and when I add my concealer and everything like that, it's gonna come together. But just for the sake of this video, let me swatch the other two. So I have 80NN, and let's put that right here. So yeah, that is a little bit, well, that one kind of matches too actually, but I think it's a little bit I don't know. In my mirror, it looks a little bit lighter. I'm not sure if it's picking up on camera, but I probably could also use this shade as well. And let's try this last one, which is 80WO. So again, the numbers correspond to like the depth, and then the letters are the undertone. So this would be warm orange. So let's just put that right here. Yeah, this is definitely orange. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna go with that middle one. I feel like that's the one that's disappearing. I think I could also do the neutral, but just because I'm pretty confident that I have a yellow undertone by now, I think that one's just gonna bring everything together and complement my skin the best. So that's the one I'm gonna go with. So I'm just gonna go ahead and prime with my Milk Hydro Grip. I don't know if I've said this in the video yet, but I didn't believe in the power of primers until I got this Hydro Grip. And obviously you can see I got the little trial size because, like I said, I wasn't sure if this is going to do anything, but it definitely does some things. So I'm honestly going to have to go to the store to re-up. Okay, so I'm prepped and primed. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the shade 80WY. I'm gonna go and just apply 2 pumps to the back of my hand. It says it's medium to buildable, so I'm gonna go ahead, and what I like to do with foundations these days is apply with a brush first and then go in with my sponge to blend everything out. So yeah, this is looking like a really nice shade. Again, don't be alarmed if it does look a little bit dark, because I am going to add a light highlight concealer under the eyes, and yeah, it'll come together, trust me. So far, this foundation has a really lightweight formula. Like, it is more on the like watery side. Like, I don't know if you have foundations that are a little bit thicker. This is not one of those foundations. It does have more of a thin consistency, but I mean, 2 pumps, and I feel like I got pretty good coverage. Like, I don't think I need to go in with anymore. Obviously, if you want like a super full beat, you might want to go in and kind of add some, in maybe some spaces that you have blemishes, but I feel like, sorry, I'm looking in my mirror down here. I feel like I covered everything. I feel like it looks pretty good. So again, like I said, I'm gonna go in and just to be sure, we're gonna blend this out with the beauty blender or sponge or whatever. So this is the finished application of the foundation. It's feeling really good. Like, I don't feel anything on my face. It does feel super weightless. I think the term they use in the brochure thing was breathable. It does feel really breathable. So it's like skin like matte. I do think it does have more of a, I mean, it's skin-like. I don't know how to call this matte. It's like more satin to me. It hasn't dried down fully, but we'll see. Just for your information, I have combination oily skin, so that could also be a factor as to why it doesn't look like matte on my type of skin type. But it does really look skin-like. It does give you that skin but better look, as I suspected. So I really like that about it. And so far, so good. I'm really liking this foundation. So let's get into the concealer. So I only have 2 shades of concealer. These are the 2 shades. I'll just go ahead and swatch those on the back of my hand for you right now. It's 70WO and 80WO. So when I first started wearing makeup, everyone was like, you know, into the really yellow kind of concealers and powders, and so that's what I used to gravitate towards. But as I like have grown in my makeup journey, I definitely go towards more orange concealers, because I feel like orange in general is like a good color corrector if you have darker skin, and then when you use it as concealer, it just automatically just lifts and brightens and color corrects in one fell swoop. So I these days go for more of a orangey kind of concealer. So these are both these both have the WO at the end, which means warm orange. So that's why I chose these two. So I'm just gonna go ahead and swatch them both on the back of my hand. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna gravitate towards. So hopefully you can see. I feel like I'm going to use both. I'm going to start off with the darker one and then use the other one in kind of the inner corners to really like brighten and highlight. So we'll see how this goes. So I am taking 80W and I'm just going to apply this under the eye. So yeah, usually I just I apply a little bit of concealer here, but kind of concentrate it right under the eyes there. This is actually looking pretty bright. I'm not sure if I'll need the other concealer, so we'll see how it blends. I like to let my concealer sit a little bit before blending it out. So, excuse me, I'm gonna go ahead and contour or bronze. I picked the shade 90WR to kind of create some dimension in the cheeks. I'm not sure how red it's gonna be. I kind of want more of like a bronzy look than a contour. I think if I was going for a contour, I would pick a more neutral shade, but I picked this warm shade because I kind of want to bring some life back into the cheeks after we've lightened up this area. So I'm just gonna take one pump, like a very small, tiny pump. I'm just gonna take a foundation brush and kind of just stipple that where I want it to go. So yeah, this is a good, looks like a good shade. It's very natural, but still kind of creating some dimension there. And I feel like because this foundation is such a lightweight formula and it is very buildable, it's easy to kind of do this if you do prefer to like do your contouring and stuff with the foundation and not something as kind of full coverage and heavy as a concealer. All right, so I used up that little pump. I'm gonna go in with another pump for the other side. So this is the finished application. I'm really liking the way that it looks. It really just gave a nice natural warm flush to the face. And I actually noticed as this foundation has had some time to dry down, it is looking a lot more mattifying. So I would actually agree. I'll go back to what I said before. It was looking a little bit more satin, but it just takes a minute to dry down completely. So it does, I think, have a really nice matte skin-like finish. So I think it's been enough time for this concealer. Let's go ahead and blend it out. So far it's blending out pretty easily. It's not one of those concealers that dries down hella fast and then you gotta scramble to kind of work and blend it out. It's really blending in pretty nicely with the foundation, and it's blending out and spreading easily. So hopefully you guys can see the vision now of how the concealer foundation ratio goes. Again, like I said, and for me, I guess I'm not showing you my chest today. This is my chest. It's a little bit light skin right now because I haven't been in the sun, but normally like I like to match to my arm here because yeah, you know, I think everyone has like different shades on their body. Some people's face is darker than their chest, other people's the opposite. So it's really up to you what part of your body you want to match to. I try to make sure like the darkest parts of my body are matched by my face. So that's why I like my arm, and my chest is a little bit light right now, but when I've been in the sun, a little bit more on my chest. So yeah, so this is the first side, and I'm really liking how this looks. It really pairs nicely. That creamier kind of consistency pairs really nicely with the matte finish of the foundation. And even without setting with powder, I could just tell that this is a really good combination. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend out the rest. I'm not sure if I need to go in with that color like I was saying, but for the sake of this video, I'm gonna do it for y'all, and I'm not gonna wait with that one. Wait, I mean, as in I'm not gonna like leave it. I'm just gonna apply it and blend it out. So I'm really liking the finish of this. I feel like my skin looks pretty freaking flawless. And yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised. I mean, I don't know why I'm surprised, but like I'm feeling this foundation. Every time you find I'm always very hesitant before I like co-sign foundation. You know, obviously with the skin tones, shade matching, and everything like that. That's like the first hurdle. And then is the finish gonna match you? Is it gonna make me break out? Is it gonna last through the day? So there's, you know, all these factors. So far I like all the, it has a good shades to pick from. The finish is beautiful. It feels lightweight on the face. So we're check right now. We're in a good place. So let me just go ahead for the sake of this video and see if I can just brighten a little bit more right here under the eye. But yeah, this is kind of bright. This is kind of bright, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and blend this out. Coverage wise for this concealer, I would say it's also kind of medium, maybe medium buildable. I guess we'll see now if it builds. It is though giving me a lot of brightening, and because like some concealers, what they'll do is they'll start off really bright, but they'll kind of blend right into the foundation, which I mean, it's not a bad thing that they blend, but like you don't get the brightness you were looking for if the foundation under it is too dark. But this seems like it's staying pretty true to color and giving me the brightness that I'm looking for. So I'm not mad at this. I actually think that adding the, what is that, 70WO really kind of made this a little bit more glam. It's pairing nicely and blending in well. It's not looking cakey or anything on top of the other concealer. So the other concealer shade. Wow, I'm feeling myself. I'm impressed. I am impressed. So this is the finished application. I'm gonna go ahead and set with powder. This is a Beauty Bakery powder in the shade Almond. I just like to press that in. So this is the finished application of the foundation and concealer. So far, y'all, like I'm not even trying to like exaggerate, like I'm really impressed. And usually like when I try foundation, and y'all know, like if you follow me on Instagram, which you should, by the way, Coco Swatches, or if you have my app, you know, or you use my foundation finder, obviously I use a lot of foundations. And I'm not even trying to like play or like put it on thick because this is a sponsored video. I honestly really am loving the finish of this foundation. If you have combination to oily skin and you're looking for a summer foundation, I feel like this might be a really great option. My skin still looks matte, but it feels very light, and it's a lightweight texture and consistency. I keep using that word. But yeah, I'm really liking the finish of this foundation. So let me go ahead and finish the rest of my face, and I'll come back and give you my final thoughts. So I'm back. Here is my finished look. So let me give you a quick rundown of everything. If I didn't say before, I believe the price is going to be $34. If not, I'm gonna have those things in the description box rather, and obviously where you can get this foundation. So let's just go through the claims and see how they measure up. So 50 shades. Obviously, like I said, I wasn't the darkest shade. I was pretty far from the darkest. The swatches will be somewhere on the screen. I feel like they did a really good job with the shade range. Last up to 24 hours. So I completely take everything back. You know, this is a first impressions for me as well as a review. When I was trying out the foundation and I was applying it, it definitely was appearing a little satiny, but this is definitely a matte foundation. Like my face is matte. There's no doubt about that. So definitely a matte, real skin matte finish for sure. And that also goes back to the 24-hour claim. And breathable and flexible for sure. This feels very light on the skin. It doesn't feel heavy at all. My face feels like it can move. And they have basically the same claims for the concealer, 25 shades, so half, which makes sense. 24-hour wear. It also says extra pigmented here. I definitely do agree with that. Like I said, sometimes you apply concealer and you feel like it just kind of sinks into your foundation when you're really trying to get that brightening effect. So these concealers are really good for that, and it also does have a real skin matte finish. So yeah, like I said, I am matte matte, like I'm matte, and I'm not mad about it because I'm combination oily skin, so I feel like this is going to be a great combination for those of you who have oily or combination skin who are looking for a summertime foundation. It's also pretty cool that they have like taken this whole naked concept in like every facet of their like product line. So you know, they have the naked palettes, and this, I'm not sure if they had a naked foundation before, but the fact that this is like they have It's Time to Find Your Naked Truth, and it's called the Stay Naked Foundation because it's supposed to be all about, you know, being authentic and being your real self. So yeah, this is the finished application of the foundation. I hope you all loved today's tutorial. Let me know if you have any questions about this foundation. Like I said, I believe, so 50 shades, I think it's $35 to $36. Don't quote me on that though. I'll have the actual pricing in the description bar below, as well as a link to purchase. And again, thank you so much to Urban Decay for partnering with me on today's video. So with all that being said, thank you so much for hanging out with me today and watching this video. If you loved what you saw here today, please go ahead and subscribe. It helps your girl out, and give this video a like so that I can continue to make really cool content for you guys. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.